Hello and welcome to coverage of the Primordial Discord Tournament number 3. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the round 4 match between SoulsR and BomBerWill. So, since I don't know either of these players' decks, since this is a blind tournament, I'm just going to quickly explain what Primordial is instead while the game is starting. It's a constructed format which aims to emulate Limited, in that you choose 2 rares, 3 uncommons, 2 copies of each of those uncommons, and then any number of commons, but maximum of 4 copies of each, make a 40-card deck, and go to town. And oh yeah, all of those cards have to be from the same set, to note. So, it leads to some really interesting deck building decisions, because Mill is obviously more viable, so that's more on people's radar. Aggro is particularly good. Mid-range soup sometimes is just really good as a strategy because, in like a limited format, whoever has the biggest creatures is technically winning. But that isn't to say that archetypes like control and combo aren't viable. You just have to pick the right sets for them. Okay, so BomBerWill opening up with a Wind-Scarred Crag. Okay, interesting. I'm trying to think about which set had these top lands. But I think like the life gain tap lands are pretty common. Might be a core set, might be some core 2020 build. I'm not certain. SoulsR on the other hand, and has the Fanatical Fireband. Yeah, you can't play that. So playing Grasping Scoundrel. So I'm assuming this is Ixalan because of the Fanatical Firebrand. So yeah, it looks like it's Ixalan black-red aggro. Okay. Meanwhile, Will on the other end playing a Plains. And it does have a turn 2 play. Flutterfox. Okay, so this is Eldraine red-white aggro. So this is the aggro mirror. So if your SoulsR, you definitely just attack in here. Yeah, so you're going to be swinging for 2. The thing is, though, Will does win this race because of the 1 life gain on the Wind-Scarred Crag. And going to be tapping, has 2... is going to be playing the Daring Buccaneer, revealing Grasping Scoundrels, and then playing another Grasping Scoundrels. Yeah, it's really flooded out the board here. So unless Will has something with 3 toughness to be able to block, I think this gets hairy real quick. With the main phase Thrill of Possibility from Will. Discarding a Gingerbread Cabin. Gingerbread Cabin? Oh, this might not be that... Okay, that's a weird card to see when you're already seeing 2 lands of a different color. Especially because it's, like, focusing on a monocolor theme. Oh, that was on... yeah, okay. So, I guess this might not be aggro. It might just be, like, Naya midrange? But yeah, so... The SoulsR, meanwhile, is going to swing out with everything. And wow, Will is just going to take it all? Not even going to trade one of them? Okay. So yeah, going to take a whopping 6 damage there. And SoulsR has the Dusk Legion Zealot to be able to try and draw another card. And does, Fanatical Firebrand. Yup. So that provides a slight bit of reach. And that also means that Will is now on a 2-turn clock. Even assuming that Will blocks something next turn. Oh no, and another main phase Thrill of Possibility. Things are definitely not looking good for Will. Discarding a Fling. What is this deck? And more importantly, how is this deck currently 2-1? Is there just something, it might be, maybe it's a combo deck with Righteousness plus Fling? Like an aggro deck which plans to end the game with Righteousness plus Fling, because I know that's in that set. It's still... Oh, and he's attacking with the Flutterfox. Okay, that's bad, because now he gets hit for 8. And then if SoulsR has, like, any combat trick here, could just kill BomBerWill? No, it's just going to hit him for 8. He is dead next turn. I don't know why Will would swing in there unless he plans to win on his next turn. And a Goblin Trailblazer on top of the Dusk Legion Zealot. Maybe overextending? Does Will have what wipes exist in Eldraine for 4 mana? The only thing I can think of is Witch's Vengeance, but Witch's Vengeance is black and 3 mana. So there's no way that Will is going to have enough mana to cast that. And even Righteousness, unless if Will has double Righteousness plus Fling, can block with the Flutterflocks, double Righteousness it, and then Fling and then kill SoulsR. Because that'll be a total of, yeah, that'll be exactly 16 damage. Okay, we're seeing a Forest. So this is a 3-color deck. Maybe it's Naya, non-human aggro, and then the Righteous, and then like the Fling is just there for some reach. But yeah, I think, yeah, SoulsR, oh, and he's tapping out during his turn for a second Flutterfox. Yeah, I think at this point, and going to end, I think at this point any chance of Will being able to beat SoulsR is gone. Because now SoulsR attacks for a whooping, oh god, what's that? Direfleet Neckbreaker. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, that's more than lethal. That's insane. I don't even want to count how much damage that is. And Will going all the way into the negatives. Yup. So we're going to game 2 here. That's unfortunate. SoulsR had a really, really good start. And on the other hand, Will just, I think his deck did not give him what he needed right there. So let's hope that post-sideboarding Will has something to deal with this. Okay, getting into game 2 here. Okay, so SoulsR with a no-land hand here. Got a mull into the Shatter, I guess, is good, but I feel like in this matchup you kind of just want to try and go faster than them. Turn 2 Goblin Trailblazer into turn 3 Phantom Fleet Warder is not bad, but it isn't as explosive as his previous start. Meanwhile, we're seeing a Bone Crusher Giant from BomBerWill, as well as Thrill of Possibility turn 2. So probably is play Windscarred Crag turn 1 into like a Mountain turn 2. Then on end step can either stomp the Phantom or the Goblin Trailblazer, or can Thrill of Possibility try and dig. And then turn 3 either play the Bone Crusher Giant as a good blocker, or Giant Opportunity to get some food and stave off. And yeah, SoulsR is also going to play the tap land turn 1. I'm surprised that SoulsR is playing the tap lands in this deck. I would think that the cost of playing them in relation to how many 1-drops you have, you just prefer to have normal lands, even if it leads to color issues at some points in the game. Oh, interesting. BomBerWill. Oh, playing the Thrill of Possibility on his turn. I feel like BomBerWill doesn't know that this is an instant, because I think definitely the right play would have been to keep this up with the Stomp. Or, Stomp is an instant, right? I am not going crazy. Okay, so discards, I think land, right? Oh no, yeah, discards a Gingerbread Cabin, and draws into Beanstalk Giant and Flutterfox, which are good cards to see. Meanwhile, SoulsR just going to play out the Goblin Trailblazer. Hey, Stomp is an instant. Definitely should have kept it up to be able to kill this. But now I'm probably going to, I think, Stomp, and then just next turn, or like hold up Stomp, and then be ready to next turn cast the Bone Crusher. Yep, is going to do that. So, Stomps the Trailblazer, and then next turn can cast the Bone Crusher to start putting on pressure. Okay, and yeah, SoulsR just going to play the Phantom Fleet Border. Doesn't care about shocking himself that much because he's trying to be the aggro in this matchup. Okay, so going to bring the Bone Crusher Giant off the adventure. I think probably for SoulsR, you just want to... Oh, it's going to swing with the Phantom Fleet Border. I guess doesn't care about trading here. I guess Will cares about trading because he's just going to let the damage go through. Main 2, I'd imagine you just play the Ravenous Choop. Oh no, it's going to bombard and kill the Bone Crusher Giant. I guess the thought is Ravenous Choop lets you take out bigger creatures if they exist. But I do think that playing the Ravenous Choop there might have been fine, because then you can just, your clock goes up significantly if you do that. But of course, Will does have this Beanstalk Giant. Oh, it's 2 of them in fact, so it's going to get problematic quickly. I think for now, if you're Will, you play Flutterfox, and then probably a Fertile Footsteps to just ramp up real quick. No, it's playing the Giant Opportunity. Okay. I feel like you'd much rather play the Giant Opportunity next turn, because if you play Flutterfox this turn, you don't need to give it flying this turn itself, if you're trying to race. And the ramp is, like, I feel like the ramp is just better for next turn. Okay. SoulsR has another Fathom Fleet border here. So you're going to swing in with the first Fathom Fleet border. If you're Will, yeah, you just take the damage. Because you want to be able to swing back with Flutterfox next turn. Just letting it die doesn't do much for you. Then main 2. Interesting that he's playing the Dusk Legion Zealot, but I guess the hope was for this exact line, where you hit the land and then you can play the Fathom Fleet border. So now, SoulsR definitely now has control of the board again. The foods can buy Will some time, though. And I think if Will just goes land, double Fertile Footsteps here, that would not be a bad play at all. Or can like land Fertile Footsteps plus crack a food. But I think if you just send both Beanstalk Giants on adventure now, just get a bunch of lands, you have enough to crack a bunch of foods or play one of your Giants next turn. That's a pretty good spot to be in. So yeah, gonna play the first Fertile Footsteps right there, and then yeah, play the other. Oh, and interesting, does Fertile Footsteps not put them in tapped? Oh yeah, it just puts them onto the battlefield. So this way, by casting both Fertile Footsteps, Will can still keep up 2 mana to crack a food. So, and yeah, it's gonna attack with the Flutterfox. So even if SoulsR attacks for a whopping 7 damage next turn, Will can offset it by 3, so only takes 4 damage next turn. And then on Will's next turn, he can just play out this Beanstalk Giant, and I think that just effectively blocks SoulsR's entire deck. SoulsR does have the Ravenous Tube for it, though, for the first one, though. So yeah, I'm gonna swing out for the total of 7. And he's gonna hard cast the Daring Buccaneer. Did not mean to show the Ravenous Troop, I think, because Ravenous Troop is not, in fact, a pirate. A little bit of a blunder from SoulsR right there. And yeah, on end, Will's gonna crack the food. So he's gonna start by playing the Golden Egg, and drawing into a Garenbrig Paladin. So I think, how much mana does... Will has an absurd amount of mana, but yeah, I think you just pay 7, Beanstalk Giant, yeah. And then, I think if you're Will, you don't attack with the Flutterfox, but just keep it back as another blocker, because that prevents him from attacking with the Dusk Legion Zealot or Daring Buccaneer, especially since you know that he has the Ravenous Troop to be able to kill one of your Beanstalk Giants. And I think at this point you don't care about trading the Flutterfox, or like, you don't care about having the Flutterfox deal damage, you want to trade it out. So that you rid him of a creature, and you can, like, save yourself a little bit of time. Oh no, and SoulsR top decking the Direfleet Neckbreaker. So yeah, I think, if you're Souls, yeah, you just Ravenous Troop, kill the Beanstalk Giant, swing in... Do you swing in with everything, or just the Fathom Fleet borders? Because... knowing that he has a second Beanstalk Giant, you want to get in for maximum damage next turn. And this way I think if you just attack with the Fathom Fleet borders, and Will doesn't block with the Flutterfoxes, okay, no, it's going to attack with everything. Will can trade off, okay, I actually can chump the Dusk Legion Zealot. Yeah, it's going to do that. And then next turn, SoulsR plays the Direfleet Neckbreaker, and then can immediately attack for, a total of 10 plus 4, 14, plus, yeah, 4, so a total of 16, of which Will can only block, Will can only block a maximum of 10. So Will is very dead next turn. I guess, how much mana does Will have? Will has enough so that if Will plays Garenbrig Paladin, and keeps the foods up to crack, might be able to survive. And now I'm realizing the fling is definitely there for Beanstalk Giant, because Beanstalk Giant just gets insane. right now, unfortunately, does not have enough lands to just kill SoulsR. Because even if Will attacks with the Flutter Fox, plays Beanstalk Giant, and flings, Will be 1 life off. Yeah, so Will is going to play the Garenbrig Paladin, adamanting it, so it becomes a 5/5, and then still has enough mana up to crack 2 foods. And then if you're Will here, so let's see, so if you're Will, you know you're going to take, if you attack with the Flutter Fox, you are going to take a total of 7 damage next turn. You can offset it with 6 and you go to 2, and then you win next turn. So yeah, I think the correct play is to attack with Flutter Fox here. Yeah, so he's going to attack with the Flutter Fox, and then next turn can play Beanstalk Giant plus Fling to win the game. What he doesn't know, of course, is that SoulsR has the Direfleet Neckbreaker, and that makes the combat math impossible. So yeah, just going to play out the Direfleet Neckbreaker, and that's game. Yeah, GG's to both players, but in the end, SoulsR takes it and cruises to a 3-1 finish. And I'm not surprised. This Pirates deck seems like it's super good. It's got a crazy fast start, and even if you disrupt it, has like little bits of card advantage here and there, so that it can definitely pick itself back up. The only thing it's missing really is reach, other than the Fanatical Firebrand, but I don't know, there might be some reach that in the cards that we haven't seen in SoulsR's deck. Either way, that was super cool. I also like BomBerWill's deck a lot better now that we got to see what it's trying to do game 2. I would not be surprised if there's a Realm Cloak Giant somewhere in the 75 here, just, you know, because it looks like it's just trying to play out big giants. Flutterfox is just there to synergize with the food tokens and get in some early damage. And then you can clean up house with Beanstalk plus Fling. Good games to both players, and until next time, this is Caillou signing off.